Greetings, dear viewers. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more enlightening content. Today, we're peeling back the royal curtain to reveal a less than regal reality. We're talking about King Charles and Prince William, who stand accused of exploiting the public for their personal gain. But how, you might ask? Let's set the stage. Imagine, if you will, the Duchy of Cornwall, a vast estate that has funded the lifestyle of the Prince of Wales and his family since the 14th century. Now imagine that same estate charging an NHS trust over £11 million across a span of 15 years for ambulance parking at one of its warehouses. That's right, folks, you heard it correctly. The very service that saves lives being charged to park ambulances. But the audacity doesn't stop there. Let's shift the spotlight onto Prince William. His Duchy of Cornwall rakes in a whopping £1.5 million per year from the Ministry of Justice for Dartmoor Prison. Yes, you heard that right too. Earning from a prison an institution meant for rehabilitation and not for profit. These duchies, originally established to provide income for the heir to the throne, have seemingly transformed into lucrative businesses. And who's paying the price? It's the common people, the hard-working taxpayers who bear the brunt of these royal money-making schemes. These actions, dear viewers, are not just a shocking revelation. They are a stark reminder of the gross imbalance between the privileged few and the struggling many. They underscore the audacity of these royals who, amidst their extravagant lifestyles, have seemingly turned a blind eye to the hardship faced by those who are indirectly funding their wealth. Now let's delve deeper into the audacity of these actions. Imagine the gall it takes to exploit the vulnerable in society for personal gain. In recent years, King Charles and Prince William have done exactly that, using their royal privileges to siphon off millions from public funds. Let's delve into the specifics. King Charles, an already tremendously wealthy individual, has been charging an NHS trust an outrageous sum for ambulance parking at one of his duchy warehouses. Over the course of 15 years, the total has amounted to a staggering £11 million. That's right, £11 million extracted from a health service that is meant to be free at the point of use, and that is under immense financial strain. Now, let's turn our attention to Prince William. His audacity does not fall short of his father's. His duchy has been profiting from Dartmoor Prison, raking in £1.5 million per year from the Ministry of Justice. It's a clear case of the rich getting richer at the expense of the incarcerated, some of the most marginalised individuals in society. These aren't just isolated incidents, they are part of a disturbing pattern of the royals capitalising on their status to exploit public resources. The sums involved are enormous, the time span over which this exploitation has occurred is lengthy, and the individuals affected are those who can least afford it. These revelations are not just shocking, they are deeply troubling. They expose a level of greed that is hard to fathom, and they raise serious questions about the role and responsibilities of the royal family. Are these the actions of individuals who are meant to serve as the nation's figureheads? Or are they the actions of profiteers, more interested in lining their own pockets than in the welfare of their subjects? Such actions raise serious questions about the role and responsibilities of the royal family. The implications of these actions are far-reaching, affecting the very fabric of our society. The common people, the backbone of our nation, bear the brunt of this exploitation. Let's consider the working-class individual, making an honest living but struggling to make ends meet. Every exorbitant fee charged by the royals, every tax levied, is a blow to their livelihood. It's an added weight on their already burdened shoulders. Imagine the ambulance driver, rushing to save lives, only to be slapped with a parking fee at a royal warehouse. Or consider the families of inmates at Dartmoor Prison, who must cough up funds to the Prince's duchy, money that could be better spent on rehabilitation and support. And what does this mean for our society at large? The actions of King Charles and Prince William are not merely financial transactions, they are a stark illustration of the widening chasm between the privileged elite and the masses. By exploiting their royal privileges for personal gain, they are treading on the principles of social equity that we, as a society, strive to uphold. The impact goes beyond the economic sphere. It erodes trust in our institutions, casting a shadow over the monarchy and the values it is supposed to represent. It fuels resentment and fosters a sense of injustice among the populace. After all, Why should the royals enjoy a life of luxury while the common people struggle to afford basic necessities? But perhaps most importantly, the exploitation by the royals threatens the very values we hold dear. Values of fairness, of mutual respect, of serving one's community rather than taking advantage of it. The actions of King Charles and Prince William stand in stark contrast to these ideals. This is not just about money, it's about trust, fairness, and the values we hold dear. The monarchy's exploitation of the common people is a betrayal of these principles, a betrayal that we cannot afford to ignore. Among the voices raised against this exploitation is DR.SHOLA SPEAKS. A fierce advocate for change, DR.SHOLA does not mince words when it comes to the unseemly conduct of the royals. She's taken a staunch stand, openly calling out the monarchy for what she sees as monstrous levels of greed and privilege. She boldly states, "The monarchy is a relic of greed and privilege, thriving while ordinary Brits shoulder the tax burden." The audacious imagery of a relic, something that should be confined to the annals of history, still persisting and thriving in the modern world, is a powerful indictment of the monarchy's outdated role. DR.SHOLA's words paint a stark picture of a system that serves no one but itself. The only purpose the monarchy has ever served is its existence, she argues, highlighting the self-serving nature of this institution. She goes on to point out the unfair tax exemptions the monarchy enjoys, while ordinary citizens bear the brunt of the tax burden. No corp, CGT or inheritance tax on its wealth while we bear the worst tax burden in history, she laments. Moreover, she sees the monarchy as a benefactor of societal divides. The monarchy has always been the benefactor of the race, class, wealth divide. It doesn't serve us, she asserts. This is a damning critique of an institution that is supposed to symbolize unity and continuity, but instead, according to DR.SHOLA, exacerbates divisions and serves its own interests. She urges a change in mentality, a breaking away from the servitude to the monarchy. The servitude mentality of Brits is so medieval, she notes, calling for a shift towards a more equitable system. Shame on King Charles and Prince William, she declares, a sentiment echoed by many who share her views. The injustices perpetrated by these royals are not going unnoticed, and voices like DR.SHOLA's are paving the way for change. DR.SHOLA's words resonate with many who are tired of this medieval mentality. The question that remains is, how long will this exploitation continue before substantial change is effected? The question now is, how long will this continue? We've delved into the audacious actions of King Charles and Prince William, who've exploited their royal privileges to amass wealth at the expense of the common people. We've seen the impact of this exploitation on ordinary citizens, who bear the brunt of the financial burden. And we've heard the passionate confrontation by DR.SHOLA SPEAKS, who rightly labels the monarchy as a relic of greed and privilege. These revelations paint a stark picture of the disconnect between the privileged royals and the struggling masses. The actions of the King and Prince William are not just morally reprehensible, but also fundamentally unjust. While they live in luxury, many of their subjects struggle to make ends meet, burdened by the very taxes and fees that line the royal coffers. It's time for us to reflect on this issue. As we peel back the layers of royal privilege, we see the stark reality of a system that perpetuates inequality. We must ask ourselves, is this the kind of society we wish to live in? A society where the privileged few exploit the many? This isn't just about King Charles or Prince William. It's about the broader issue of power, privilege, and inequality. It's about the kind of world we want to create for ourselves and future generations. Each one of us has a role to play in addressing this exploitation. Whether it's by raising awareness, advocating for policy changes, or simply sparking conversations in our circles, every action matters. So let's not be mere spectators to this injustice. Let's be agents of change, challenging the status quo and striving for a more equitable society. Thank you for taking the time to understand this important issue. Remember to subscribe for more insightful content. Until next time, goodbye.